Absolutely. My name is Benny. That is Sal. That is Dylan. And we are guys that get together to talk about the world of superhero movies, TV shows, and comics. Today we're going to be discussing the Madam Web rumors. But today's episode is brought to you by our sponsors. G Fuel. Use the code comics at checkout. Get yourself some awesome G Fuel. If you get Dr. Strange, tastes like tangerines. We had an argument about this in the office. Tangerines versus nectarines versus oranges. It was never resolved. Anyway.
That sounds right.
Our other sponsor is Into the AM. You can get yourself some really cool artsy kind of shirts over there using our code down below, or some really great fitting normal plain t-shirts. That link is down below. Into the am.com/absolutely. And if you do enjoy this type of content, please consider helping us reach that 100,000 subscriber marker. Everyone wants a plaque on the wall. We'll buy Sal some way to display it behind him. It's like a little trophy stand just for that.
Yeah, a little
staple
stand.
it to his screen right there.
I was thinking that, but I think it would just tear his screen apart.
Yeah.
All right, so today we are going to go over the rumored information on Madam Web. And I do want to quantify that this is all rumored. Dylan tracked the sources that everyone is running with, and it started with an article that linked to a Reddit post. So
have you guys heard of thecosmiccircus.com? Because I sure have it.
Nope.
but they reported on this and everyone ran with it. It
Right,
is
sure.
what the Madam Web movie is going to be. Dylan, since you probably have it pulled up, what is the Madam Web's elevator pitch that we are
Please sell us the Madam Web movie.
Yeah, it's a classic, tale as old as time. Twitter will read some stuff from one website, and then they will run with it and turn it into something that it probably isn't. But what everyone is assuming based on these castings is the things that have been confirmed, is that the movie is about a bunch of Spider-Women trying to protect the birth of Peter Parker because it's like important to the web of life and destiny or whatever. And I've seen a lot of people, at least on my Twitter feed, be excited about this. I don't really know how to feel about it, but that's mostly just because I don't really care for the I don't care for like Peter being all mystically important and stuff.
No.
It's not my favorite. But yeah, we have some castings here. Do we want to go through them one by one or just get it all out there and then
Sure. So the basic concept is everyone's basically pitching this as being a Terminator 2 situation in which individuals are sent back in time to prevent Peter Parker. So that Dylan hit it on a roundabout way, but that's basically what it boils down to. Go back in time, prevent whatever villain from killing the mother of Peter Parker, and these are the castings.
I don't even know if it's going to be a time travel thing, because it
would have to be. How else would you have these people? Like, name up the people.
They're mystical.
They could be
that's
old,
true.
like when Peter is born. Like it's not. It doesn't need to be time travel. Like Madam Web doesn't normally take people through time. She's just like, this is gonna happen. We need to protect this point in history. So
yeah, but it would make sense for no spider people to exist if they're protecting the birth of Peter Parker. Mm-hmm. Like that would then be
Sony
establishing.
Is Sony. I would be surprised if they had anything make sense in this movie.
But I will state they're not allowed to mess with Spider-Man and his origins and even what color skin he has. I really doubt Sony has carte blanche to be like, oh, go ahead and invent precursors to Spider-Man. Make like 8 Spider-Women that existed before Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's why
existed.
I don't think this movie is that. I think it's something else.
Time travel would work. You can make it work as a time travel piece because Madam Web sends people through the multiverse and all kinds of stuff. So you just add the ability of time travel and boom.
Right.
Problem solved.
There's no way they regard Madam Web in any way to make that like sanctified. Like they're not going to be like, oh no, like Madam Web doesn't go back in time. That's not fair. Like that doesn't make any sense. No, they'll just be like, yeah, whatever. She can do all kinds of stuff. She goes back in time too. The end.
Do whatever she wants.
Yeah. So who are the Spider-Women that are showing up in this? Which I find like a weird list.
Yeah.
So ones that I will say at least we know of. Like, I can't find sources on them, but this has been, like, a thing since this movie dropped, is Dakota Johnson being Madam Web, and then Sydney Sweeney being Julia Carpenter. I think, or at least Sydney Sweeney being in the movie is for sure a thing. I don't know if we know for a fact that she's Julia Carpenter. Take everything that we're talking about in this video as with a grain of salt. But, yeah, so Sydney Sweeney as Julia Carpenter, who is the current Madam Web in the comics, that's one of them. Celeste O'Connor, who I don't know what she's been in, but she's allegedly playing Maddie Franklin, who is another Spider-Woman, Spider-Girl. Isabella Merced, is playing Anya Corazon.
Okay.
That's the name that really stuck out to me as they're not going to do that. This has got to be time travel because that's supposed to come out of the spider
Gotta be
totems.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. And I think she's that actress. It was Dora in the new.
She was Dora
movie.
in the Dora movie.
So,
There was
got
a Dora
in
movie?
here. Yeah, there was.
I thought
Dora
that was a spoof.
I heard it
They
wasn't
made
bad.
that too.
And then this is the one that I think this is confirmed also. I think Adam Scott is confirmed to be in the movie. But him playing Ben Parker, Uncle Ben, is the new news about that, which I don't know what they're doing with that. Emma
Right.
Roberts.
You need the father. You need what was the name? What's the name of the guy in the first Terminator? Reese.
John Connor. Oh, Kyle Reese. Yeah.
Kyle Reese. You need that role if you're doing a Terminator situation.
Right.
But also, if Peter's not born yet, then and that's the other thing here is Emma
Ben's not his
Roberts is the
father.
last one. Right. That's what I'm saying. If Peter's not born yet, then like why would Ben be around?
Right.
Well, he's the uncle, so he has to be. He could be there. You know, like.
Well, because you know who
then-
Uncle Ben is, because that's
Yeah.
a name you know.
So we put all these other names that only comic fans will know, so we got to put in one real one.
And this is the thing that confuses even more. Is like if Uncle Ben's in the movie, then sure, Uncle Ben's in the movie. But then Emma Roberts is apparently going to play Mary Parker. So
Right.
Do you
which is-
think that
which
they're going to
is
throw
Peter's
the
mother.
spy aspect
Yeah.
in? Mary Parker's actually a spy as well.
Wouldn't surprise me.
My problem with this is immediately my first thought when I heard that Adam Scott is playing a young Ben Parker and then also maybe Mary's in the movie at some point. I was like,
Yeah.
are they doing Trouble? Because that would be a very
Right.
Sony thing to do.
Be a horrible
It's-
idea. But
that
yeah,
would
that
be
sounds
awful.
like Sony. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
That's the rumor about what this movie is.
How do you feel about a Terminator 2 style situation then, Sal? Being a fan of the original Terminator concept and movie
Right.
franchises, like I am.
Yeah, I love Terminator, this concept. I mean, like, the idea of... I get why they would make it in terms of, like, this being the story. At least it's not...
It
just-
also makes a little more sense why this got greenlit, in my opinion. Like,
yeah, I think so, too. They're like, oh,
Yeah, if Peter
wow,
has something
yeah.
to do with it.
Peter has something to do
Yeah.
with it, but he's not in the movie, so we don't have to decide what universe we're in or anything like that. I assume it's the Venomverse, where it's a nebulously different Peter Parker who is not from the MCU, nor is it Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire. I don't know. This is a movie that I don't think should exist, and I hate everything about it. I know that like people in the comments are gonna be like, "Oh, Sal doesn't like new things." And no, just because something new doesn't mean that it's not like creatively bankrupt or a stupid
Right.
idea or shouldn't exist and is a waste
Right.
of money and like is gonna confuse the crap out of the audience and will be immediately forgotten and disregarded immediately after it comes out. Like that's
I mean, Morbius. Morbius is a
Yeah.
great example. Like,
Morbius,
Right.
Venom 2. Nobody cared about Carnage. Like nobody cared, and like
I could.
it wasn't a big deal. Like it made some money, and that was it. Like.
But yeah, no, like Venom 1 at least still gets like talked about in the zeitgeist. Venom
Yeah.
2 was like it came, it went.
People
That
were
was
like,
that, like-
"Oh no, that was really bad." Well, anyway, Venom though. I mean, but Tom Hardy, you got to admit, Tom Hardy's awesome. And it's like, if you are watching a movie or you're a fan of a franchise and you were just like, well, I mean, like, okay, so yeah, it's really stupid and it's really poorly written and it's got really bad direction, but like one actor's really good in it, and I got to see a character that I recently fell in love with on screen for the first time, and that just like it made me feel nostalgic. Like that's not enough. And
Right.
but this is a movie that no one can feel nostalgic for because it features no one's favorite characters. And even if it does, it's like, oh, yay, Anya Corazon's finally going to be in a movie. Okay. In this weird, confusing mess that shouldn't exist,
Yeah.
that's going to baffle
Yeah.
the crap out of your audience. Like,
I think my problem with this, I kind of dig the concept of them going back in time to prevent the death of an unborn child, but then I
Right.
go, that's Terminator.
yeah, but I
2.
like Terminator. That's
Right.
the movie.
But you could do a spin on it and do a new version of it.
Yeah.
But the moment you throw it into the Spider-Verse and you try to make it a Spider-Man thing because you're like, well, that'll get money, to me, like you said, then it's just like, well, that feels creatively bankrupt.
Yeah,
Because it
no.
felt like someone said, let's do Terminator with Spider-Man, put your hands together, my friend, and we have our Madam Web movie.
I promise you, the way it worked was they're like, we're making a Madam Web movie. And someone finally, at like the pre-production level, went, what's it about? And they were like, oh,
Yeah.
we don't really know. And then they just looked at like Mad Lib. Like, I guarantee you that like studios have Mad Lib movie plots where they're like,
Yeah.
it's Die Hard, but it's Spider-Man. It's Terminator, but it's like, and they just went, oh, the Terminator Spider-Man thing. Like, that's something that Marvel would never do. so we're different, and it's easy because we can like use time travel to logic out any confusing
I would not
points.
even doubt they don't even put suits and don't even go heavy on the powers. These are early versions of the spider people.
They are going to be, they're going to have like a color scheme of regular clothes from whatever sponsor wants to give us money to make the wardrobe. That's it.
Like, and that's I like to consider myself a cinephile. I watch a lot of different movies, from like the terrible movies to the great movies to the artsy pieces, and I try to find the good in a lot of movies. But there are movies that are made just to be popcorn munched on pieces of shit. Like,
well, there's a difference, I think, between like making movies that are meant to be watched because who cares? Like, I consider the Fast and the Furious franchise that. Like, I've never seen a single Fast and the Furious movie, and I never will. But I also appreciate that, like, there's an audience out there that loves those movies, and that there's
watch. Should we bring it to the channel, everyone?
Yeah, I've actually not said it because I don't want to make another show because I don't have enough hours in my life.
Yeah, you don't want to watch another 2 hours. No, for the record, Fast and the Furious got to like 2 hours and 45 minutes for the latest movie. So
right, but like. I appreciate that they're making those movies because like they like making them and the audience likes watching them. I get that, but like there's something else where Sony's like, you understand in the contract we have to keep making Spider-Man movies every year.
We have to make this movie.
And we also like we also there's an inferiority complex at Sony. You can tell there's like this massive inferiority complex where they're like, we have the number one character, like we should be $1 billion studio every time. And the fact that we're not is like embarrassing to us. So like each time they make it, it's an attempt to become Marvel. And it's just like it's never going to happen for you.
No. That's what's so weird to me about this is like every time they do try to make one of these movies, it's always like let's try to tie it to Spider-Man in as frustrating a way as possible. Like, to the point where at the end of Morbius, with the post-credit scenes, it feels like they're just trying to get away with shit. Like, this is about Spider-Man. Like,
right.
No,
that might be the most reviled post-credit scene in cinematic history. Because of, like, because no one liked it. Like, no one was like, yes, Sinister Six. No one was like, yes, Vulture's in this universe. No one was like, yes, you made Morbius change his motivation between scenes at the end of your movie. Like, no one was happy. It satisfied nobody, and it was just made purely. I mean, it's like the Venom post credits from No Way Home and stuff, where it's like
it's completely pointless.
He got dropped in so that he could leave a piece of the Venom symbiote, so that there's some form of continuity between Venom and Spider-Man, but not direct. So we don't have to deal
It's almost
with that.
as if Sony is trying to make these movies fast enough and make these decisions fast enough to where they're in theaters before like Kevin Feige or head Marvel Studios legal has time to say no. They're like, okay, do this. And then the movie comes out and they're like, wait, no, that's not happening. And then they walk it back in the next movie.
They still haven't changed.
They have characters. Like, as much as I don't want to see a Sony-produced Jessica Drew movie, that's a character that is completely separate from Spider-Man, but will get people in the seats because it says Spider in the title.
Yeah,
just make a franchise about her.
I don't even know why they haven't done that, or taken Spider-Gwen and made a franchise, or taken Anya and just made a movie about Spider-Girl. Like, there's so many you could do.
Right. Or sign off on all of it.
If you want to do Spider People, you can do it, and it doesn't have to be this Terminator 2 hodgepodge plot.
No. They could just be like, we're making a Spider-Man franchise starring Andrew Garfield, and just keep going. Like, those movies made money. They could just keep going. They didn't make enough money.
And you know what's made it even better? Marvel has now established a multiverse. There is they've done it in the MCU, so that works now.
No, you could make a Spider-Man 4 with Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire now, and no one will be confused and no one will be upset. Like, Feige, I think, wants to do that. We live in a reality where, like, Sony could have their cake and eat it too, and they insist on making turd sandwiches.
Jumping back into the sort of the legal stuff about Spider-Man and what Sony has. The last time that we heard about like anything specific was like 2014. When that document got leaked, and we know that they've renegotiated since then, like post-Civil War. So, like, it's very possible. I would honestly, I feel like because like there was supposed to be a Spider-Woman movie, and we haven't seen anything from that, I would say that Marvel Studios probably negotiated to get Jessica Drew back, and probably put some locks down on Peter Parker even harder.
I wonder because if you saw the She-Hulk announcement from the creators, they were like, we really wanted to use Spider-Man and Spider-Man related characters, and they just said no. Like that was just a hard no. And if that's the case, it's like, oh, well then I can give up seeing that anywhere. Like they're making a confusing cartoon, and Sony will make and we don't even know if Tom Holland's ever going to come back. Like that's how bad things are, you know. And it's like, so we don't know what the renegotiation.
You're right.
was.
We're in a position now where they finished. They finished with No Way Home. That story for Spider-Man is complete.
Yeah.
They've said that Spider-Man is an important part of going forward with Marvel, but is he?
Right.
Because they still don't own him.
Yeah.
So they could have plans up the wazoo. They could have a contract up the wazoo, but Sony has already proven that they have no issues being like, legal mumbo jumbo. No one can touch it for 5 years.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like,
no, the end credit scene of like, you just like, you great. Like Vulture should have been in No Way Home, and he's not, and instead he's in the Morbius universe. Like,
yeah, maybe it was like a chessboard. Like Feige's like, all right, you give me Spider-Man, you could take Vulture and Madam Webb, but I want Spider-Gwen, Spider-Woman. Leave her in the middle. We haven't figured that one out yet.
Yeah, there's no way that isn't a conversation. I guarantee you that's how they negotiate.
Yeah, it's like dodgeball where you're picking teams,
right? Or they're like picking Pokemon cards. It's just that's where we are. That's where we are. But this Madam Web movie.
Could you imagine somebody printed them up as cards, like Spider-Man with like greatest hits and like?
I would not be surprised if like Pascal did that, where she's like, no, this will be a lot easier. There are a lot of visual learners in this room.
All right, I know it's pretty much just been shitting on the concept of the Madam Web, but at the end of the day, this one I'll see. I still haven't seen Morbius for the record.
Yeah, me either. I like the characters that are announced in this.
Sure, yeah. I
like them, but I just don't trust Sony.
No, exactly. It's like this idea is on paper. I'd be like, yeah, all right. That sounds fun. Knock yourselves out, But at the same time, it's like, but Sony doesn't just make a movie. They have like a plan. They have an ulterior motive, and they're bad at making movies.
Yeah.
Except for that one that won an Oscar, but that was a cartoon.
The problem is that Spider-Man as a movie franchise makes money, but not as much money as the toys and the comics and everything else, mostly toys. Like that's what makes money, which is why Marvel's like, look, just let us use them in an Avengers movie and have them pop up for cameos.
Yep.
We don't care. Do what you got to do over there because you as much money as you're making, we dwarf that.
Yes.
We don't care. So
yeah, that's true.
Because that's what it comes down to. If the Spider-Man movies made as much money, as more money than the merchandising, they might fight harder for this.
Yeah,
but they're not.
Right. No. Yeah.
So, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode where we kind of just rambled about the rumors behind Madam Web. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you next time right here at Absolutely.